Hi guys, we are here with the Hanga family in Kili, 18 kilometers from Tallinn, and we will have a conversation with Karin and Tarmo about their work, their life. Two topics we will touch. One is about Karin's PhD work. She became the awarded PhD dissertation in the best of the year in Estonia. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And Tarmo is in charge, responsible for the Estonian e-voting system.
Running in e-voting system and saying a word in develop process.
Guys, let's talk a little bit about you and your background. Where are you coming from originally? What is your background? We are here in this beautiful, very typical Estonian environment, a lot of green, wonderful nature. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I will start.
Yep.
Yeah. My name is Karin and I'm 40 years old. And I was born in Pärnu. Pärnu is one of the one small city in Estonia.
South side.
Wow! Oh, the chickens came out. Okay. And I was born as a third child in my family. I have older sister and older brother, and my parents also had own house, so we lived in the countryside near Pärnu. And my mother and father, they are both well educated, and they worked in the field of agriculture at first, but when Estonia got independent, then the agriculture was some kind disappearing in Estonia, and it was very hard years for that kind of business.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started their own company. And my mother is working with finances. She is an auditor, and my father is like engineer, and they managed to make very good company, and they are still running it near Pärnu. And I got my education in small village school, and then I went to gymnasium into Pärnu.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came to Tallinn, where I had my bachelor degree. It was in public administration. And after some years, then I went to university again, and I had degree of social work in MA. So I think.
And we met in Tallinn.
Yeah, we met in Tallinn. Yeah, actually, I was studying in Tallinn University, where mostly women studied,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and Tarmo was from Technical University, where are mostly men.
Okay.
And so we met
In the middle of the city.
in the middle of the city, and it was, I think, 22 or 23 years ago now.
Yes.
And when we were in third grade, I was in third grade in university, and you were in third or fourth grade, I don't remember.
Something like that.
Then we decided that we have met now, and we are made for each other, and we want to marry, and then everything started.
And you even stayed in Tallinn, you never moved back to Pärnu.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about family.
Yeah.
You have 5 children. She's the youngest princess of the family now.
Yes.
How is possible to manage 5 children in Estonia nowadays?
Actually, this is not a big problem for us. Or I think we have grown with our children.
Mm-hmm.
Our oldest son is 20 years ago, 20, and our oldest daughter is 17. And actually, I was 20 when our first son was born, so I think we grew all together. And it was it has been a very fine journey for all of us. Actually, we have many friends with 3 children, and it is almost, I think it's common in Estonia also.
Yeah.
But 5 children,
It's not so common.
Maybe it is not so common. Yeah.
I see it more and more. For example, there are politicians who are a little bit more visible, and there are ladies who are very successful politicians, and they have also 5 children, six children, right? Yeah. So I dare to say that there is something in the Estonian society which supports family. How do you feel being supported, encouraged, beside a career, what you have, and having many children and strong family values? Which way goes it together?
Mm-hmm.
Supporting system is important.
Yes, it is important. I think Estonia is quite famous because of our like family vacation or mother vacation, how to call it, mother wages.
The parental leave.
Yeah, parental leave. So we can stay at home almost 1.5 years, and it is by your previous salary, and it is great support, of course, I think. But the social system is not very generous.
I wouldn't say so.
In Estonia, I think that if you have little children and you want to work same time, it is not always supported by society, because I have felt several times that I have to some kind of prove myself that I have children and they are not sick all the time and I can manage with my duties and obligations. It is, I think in society there is some kind of view that if you have little children then you are mostly at home. But it is not always like that, because our children are rarely sick, and it is normal that people are sick and children are sick.
Of course.
And
it's just a question of when.
Yes, and how you can manage with different obligations. And we have been sharing our obligations, duties, and I think we succeeded.
Yes, and I think that our workplaces are flexible enough to let us do some homework. So it's also big support. You can do partly job from home, and I think it's going to be more and more mainstream nowadays.
About 30% of Estonian people already can afford a home office structure, and I have a lot of colleagues, friends who are having an enterprise, a business, but they don't have an office. They work from home, they use Skype for team meetings, whatever. So you say it's very supportive, very common for...
and participating in some meeting via Skype, it's okay. It's very common, and I have my colleagues, one is living in the Haapsalu, another is in Tartu, and practically Tartu guy is working full time in Tartu. He visits very seldom Tallinn. And Haapsalu colleague is visiting Tallinn two times a week.
When we talk about the women and making a career and having a children same time, I think the very important part of that to make it possible is the organizational culture. Where do you work? Because if the organization supports that and supports, then it is possible. Because I think the human resources, like people who can think with their own heads and do
some smart decisions.
Do some smart decisions or work, then it is possible if the organization recognizes that input.
Okay. So you say your workplaces were supportive enough that this flexibility was there, and such way you could have 5 children without compromising even your professional career.
And I will start this September also in labor market office, and also
a small project.
Lecture in Tallinn University.
How old is she now?
4 months.
4 months?
It's becoming to 5 months soon.
Okay.
No, she's maybe tired.
I stop the video and we can have it. Karin, your field is in this vocational rehabilitation system for people with disabilities and any other disadvantages. Can you a little bit summarize that, how you feel that you contributed to the Estonian welfare system with your PhD and with your professional work?
Yeah, actually rehabilitation system in Estonia is quite new, and vocational rehabilitation service is very new. It started only in 2016. So Töötukassa, which is the state agency providing and financing.
Labor office or labor agency, right?
Yeah, labor market office, which is financing rehabilitation service also, is just like designing the service and the content of the service. So I think the field of research is very wide in order to develop the service more deeply. And of course we have some experiences from other countries as well, how to design the service and what should be the content of the vocational rehabilitation service, because persons with disabilities and other special needs, it is like new target group in labor market also in Estonia, because we had very big reform lately. In order
to workability reform,
right? Yes, workability reform in order to bring persons with disabilities into labor market and support them to be more active.
Do you consider this reform as a successful one? Is it an ongoing process? That's how you see it so far?
Yes, I think it is quite successful, and it is a very big social reform in Estonia, what we had. And why it was important, I think our support system was so not flexible, but now it is more flexible, and the subject is on the air and everybody are talking about that subject, and also persons with disabilities, how to support them. And for that reason I think state and private sector and also employers, they know more about the needs of persons with disabilities, and they can react betterly.
How do you see the position of a PhD holder in Estonia? Does it make any sense to have a PhD in here? Do you feel you have an influence in the system? Anybody was asking you about your research results? Is there any way that you can have an impact on the Estonian society?
Actually, I cannot say that PhD is influencing very much, at least my work. I think Estonia is quite small country, and if you have worked together with maybe colleagues from Ministry of Social Affairs or Social Insurance Board or Labour Market Office, then it is more easy to understand what is the situation and give some advices and maybe influence more. And I have to say, contacts are important. Yes, I think
more important than PhD.
Yeah. And I have been in this field, I think 10 or 15 years already. So I think that project that I have been participating and also reports what we have prepared have influenced a lot also in the field of social rehabilitation.
I remember once we were together in this social committee of the Riigikogu, the Estonian Parliament.
We talked about persons with disabilities and mental disorders. And I think there was a question also about rehabilitation system and access to different services that persons with disabilities have. I think there are changes in Estonia, but in the social field they are like modest and little. And step by step, maybe the system
not so big steps.
Okay, it
will improve. But I think the ordinary life of persons with disabilities is still very difficult in Estonia. Also.
According to the statistics, in Estonia the gender payback is the highest. And in my personal experience is different from what I see in the statistics. Because I see a lot of smart, powerful women here who has a access to influence and whatever, but still the pure data shows that, oh my God, it's a huge... How you see
the
it?
gap is huge, and I think that most of the gap will come from the part that people in countryside, they live a bit differently.
Okay.
And that influences statistics. But in the bigger cities, I don't see any big difference when women's or men's working together.
Karin said before that Tallinn University, which is educating teachers, right, and social scientists and psychologists, is mainly you can find women there. While the Tallinn Technical University,
That's
which is
true.
and such way, if you educate yourself to be an engineer, a lawyer, a IT, it gives you much higher salaries because it's not Finland here, where teachers are one of the best paid professionals, and such way the profile of profession determines.
Yes, that determines. But still, I see that women are getting more and more in the like technical sciences. For example, our neighbor, daughter of our neighbor, she builds rockets in the yes.
She.
Okay. She's actually a rocket engineer, and it's very cool.
She also started from technical university.
Okay.
And then went to learn abroad, and now she is finishing her master degree, and she is actually in Paris doing that.
Yes.
Let's talk a few words about your work in Astangu. I was very impressed by your projects there and the fact that at a certain point you started even a music group with your colleagues, so the atmosphere was very appealing to me from social work perspective. That what a great example you showed to disabled people. Can you tell this story, which way it evolved?
Yeah, Astangu Vocational Rehabilitation Center is quite unique center in Estonia also. It provides vocational education to persons with disabilities and also social services like vocational rehabilitation or social rehabilitation. And it is also like, it was like a social innovation center.
Okay.
In Estonia, we developed different methodologies or services and assessment.
And you were leading a working group there in this part, right?
Yes, and we had very interesting projects there. But the work is also intensive every day, and everybody needs some kind of rest and something else.
Point to switch over.
Then we heard that there will be a firm contest.
Firm band contest.
Yeah, firm band contest, and we just thought, why not? Let's try.
So different companies and organizations can attend the contest, setting up a music group. And I remember we were at the Rock Cafe where you had a concert and the competition.
And so we put our band together. We had 5 women.
What was the name of the band?
At first our name was Vello. Actually it was
name of the manager.
Name of our band manager. He was only one who could play an instrument.
Who actually knew how to play.
And he didn't play in the group.
No, he didn't play in the group, but he taught us everything.
Okay.
And so we had like 3 or 4 songs or some kind of music. So we learned how to play. Actually, I had played some years bass guitar, but actually the drummer was completely new, and other 2 ladies who played guitar.
Guitars.
Yeah. They just hold the guitar first time when we started, but it was so fun, and it was so stress releasing us. So we managed very good, I think.
It took you how many months to prepare while you were able to go on the stage and playing?
I think it's
4 months.
4 or 5
From
months.
zero.
From zero.
Yeah.
And I find it as a very symbolic, wonderful message to your own clients, because at Astangu you are running educational, vocational training programs for people with disabilities, and your message to them was that, guys, within 4 months we are mastering an instrument and we go on the stage. What we are doing here, encouraging you to start to work and educate yourself in the timber industry, in the IT, in a restaurant or a hotel industry, and here is the role model.
It's purely a matter of will. You want to do something or you want not.
You must give a chance to yourself, so you can start something very different.